Hello everybody, welcome to episode 70, and I was going to say something else and I get it completely wrong like I did last week. Episode 70 of the Contest Round podcast. We're available on YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify and iTunes. And if you don't know already, every time I am joined by co-host Dan of Frontline MCOC. You can find him at Frontline MCOC on Twitter and as well on his amazing site, www.frontlinemcoc.home.blog. Links are in the bio. Make sure to make it your homepage. Dan, a new week of crazy things.
Absolutely, and for a couple of MCOC news junkies, the Kabam forum mod certainly kept us busy, Rich.
Oh, God,
it seemed like there were multiple updates per day. We were just talking about, your MCOC news video. Man, no lack of content this week.
No, I'm surprised that I've made close to 10 minutes, but it's it's a struggle not to go too in deep in every different topic, because there is a lot to talk about, whether or not it's what we found out that we've got Summer of Pain kind of reduced on, the amount of time we get rewards, right the way through to champion buff cadence, which is something we're going to talk about in this video. Where to begin?
I think we get right into as there were some big stories this week, but I think we got to start with the Parry bug and the update there.
Yeah. How you find it as of today? So we're recording on Friday. Update has been what? You probably had about 8 hours, maybe even 2 or 3 hours.
I downloaded the hotfix last night. Mm-hmm. It feels the same to me, but I wasn't having that many issues recently.
Yeah.
Most of my issues with the Parry bug were confined to the first 72 hours or so of the bug. Then I feel like they made an adjustment in there, and while it was different, it was more reliable, and I just felt like I had to adjust to parrying a bit early.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm playing on iOS devices, mainly an iPhone 8, but also an iPad, and it pretty much feels the same to me, but I wasn't having really that many issues. It felt like I was able to adjust, and there was reliability for me even before this. I've seen mixed feedback about this. There's certainly a lot of people saying nothing's changed and nothing's been fixed, but I don't know beyond just sort of the quick pings of people being like, "Hey, Dan, they didn't fix this yet." It's like, well, what are you playing on?
Yeah.
I know they're trying to make everything overall more reliable and more consistent and less lag, all of which we wholeheartedly endorse.
Yeah.
But Rich, what about you? Did you notice any difference?
Well, initially, no. When I was playing around with it, there was some kind of bits of better response, but then it just goes back to that age-old thing which I need to do, and I'm doing. If you're watching on YouTube, and it may be ASMR people amongst you listening on SoundCloud, Spotify, I am now cleaning my screen, and also considering I did last night turn off my iPad before that this morning, coming back to it. So I usually put this on the background on YouTube as a kind of a visual thing, but I clean your screen because you should do that. So I actually picked up some wipes not too long ago to sort that. And maybe that's the thing. Maybe that's one of the issues there. But I did find there were a few kind of minute things. So after hitting a 5-hit combo and then swiping back, sometimes it wasn't as responsive as opposed to being on the forefront. I think AI for me is still very much an issue, but I don't know. Obviously, that wasn't part of the things that Kabam were looking into to sort out with controls, response, and things like that. But I am finding that champions are holding on to their special attacks longer than they've normally done it, as opposed to getting more of a, I'd say, constant flow. It's like somebody said, we got oscillate on a permanent basis.
Oh, that's never good.
No, that's never good.
That's not what the people wanted, Rich.
No. So that's how I kind of feel with it. I feel there's still definite work to be done, and that's the biggest problem. You look at this game compared with other games and how this works from response. You've got Marvel Future Revolution coming out at the end of the month. You've got other games, fighting games that are more similar to this, like your Street Fighters. Mortal Kombat as well. Now, I haven't played Mortal Kombat Mobile, but again, that's going to be something that's important to emphasize is the response. If other games are able to get response locked down from the point of input, and how the game responds back to that said input, then that's going to be the big telltale sign as to when we feel this is actually fixed. But like you said, it's mixed.
Yeah. I mean, it unfortunately seems to be going back to the device-dependent issue that we've been talking about for years, right? Like, what are you playing on? Is it iOS? Is it Android? Are you playing on Wi-Fi? Are you playing on data? Like, I don't know. Are we back to that point? Like, I love that they're making the effort. I like the communication. That I know some people say, like, all right, well, it's, they're saying they're continuing to work on it. Like, I appreciate the honesty of that. I don't know what that does to help with player frustration if you're still dealing with issues after this hotfix, though.
Yeah, and that will be the biggest thing. Player satisfaction is going to be important for the longevity of the game, and I'm wishing and hoping the best, because this is my main game. This is the game that I've played since 2015, early point 2015, and we're coming into year 7, which from a mobile perspective, man, you just don't expect mobile games to last this long and be this successful and this, well, I wouldn't say consistent, but it's like consistently alive, because that's the other thing. Just like you look at so many other instances of other games have just died. Other Marvel games, Marvel Battle Lines,
barely made it a year.
Yeah, exactly. Marvel Future Fight, not in the greatest state. We're coming into the first. We're going to get at least 1 year of Marvel Realm of Champions, so at least to say that's surviving. And we've got the new the Marvel Future Revolution launching soon, which welcome everybody, go and check out. And I got to upload more content on my second channel on that one, so looking forward to global. But in any case, moving forward and talking about compensation packages, because Kabam have said by end of the month we should be receiving them, isn't it right, Dan?
They have, and of course it is going to be the tiered compensation based on where your game progression is.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any predictions for Thronebreaker? I mean, my feeling is, because this is a longer issue, they need to be a little more generous here, especially when you factor in the sort of failings of the summer camp. But they've also compensated a lot for AQ.
Yeah.
I know people want regular revives.
I've seen even calls for some incursion ones as well, which I didn't consider. But then the more I think about it, I think, well, it's part of the game kind of issues as well. But a little bit of everything. Yeah, I think this is one of these situations of, and I think we can both agree on this, is how much can go to keep the community sweet. That's really the emphasis.
There's one thing when it's like, say, like the game goes down for 8 hours and a war gets screwed up or something like that. Like, yes, that is very frustrating for a small but intense period of time.
Yeah.
This has been going on for 6 weeks now, and the thing that was supposed to be the feel good summer summoner event of the summer didn't land.
Yeah.
So. If I were them, I would say let's kick it up a notch. You're never gonna make everybody happy with these. As a Thronebreaker, what do you expect? I mean, I would expect some 6-star shards. Do you expect half a 6-star, a whole 6-star? What would feel good for you?
A Nexus, 6-star Nexus.
A Nexus. All right, so you're going full on Nexus 6-star.
I'm going ambitious for this. I think a good package from Kabam where people go, do you know what? I'm fine with that. It's ticking boxes, and if they tick boxes to certain players, if they start ticking the spicy boxes first, then it's one of these things where players just go okay, I'm fine with this. It's if they go 6-star Nexus, tick. If they go units, tick. If they then go revives, tick. If they go health potions, tick. And saying health potions maybe and revives 10 level 2 revives, and then 10 level 5 revives, which they did do in a little package before, but maybe kind of then adding more to that, maybe even going a further 5 team revives on top of it. As soon as they start doing that, tick, 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 it's then a case you've won, you win people, start winning people over. But what else they will add to that is going to be important. Is there anything you think that would be kind of good to add?
I mean, I think that's the three big ones you've already touched on. It's like that are going to get judged on it. Units, 6-star shards, or whatever crystal, the 6-star crystal that is, and the revives.
Yeah.
I think you're always going to get the outliers. Oh, I didn't grind as much arena. I need battle chips. I need gold. That kind of stuff. But let's be honest. If the headline piece is the 6-star Nexus, that would clear up a lot of issues. Like it's hard to say with a straight face they're being stingy if they go that far. So we will see. I am not expecting a 6-star Nexus. I will say that.
I think it's really things that expect the worst, and be optimistic for the best, but it's one of these situations of smoothing people over, like the way that they can. It's just down to like a response, isn't it? Of like, what can Kabam do to smooth over the community, make them just like really kind of like excited and hyped around things like this. So I would love to see that. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else within there. Energy refills, possibly.
Yeah,
loosely.
I mean, maybe. So it's hard to tell. It's like if you haven't been playing the hard content, like you probably have been burning through a bunch of energy refills. You may have even been letting them expire. But I don't know. Energy refills, like that's a feel good item. Like it's not a headline item, but it's nice to have.
Yeah.
So. I mean, I think they've been generous with the AQ compensation.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
been good.
That part of it's been great. Like all this glory, like it's like I've been buying so much extra stuff with glory. It's been wonderful. So
yeah, we've had a little break.
Yeah.
As a result, rather than do it because we do map 7 a lot of the time. So we've actually taken a little break because it's summertime. We had a few people because it's the summer as well. Not many people are interested in playing the game. So it's we've been trying to facilitate more people within the alliance, but it's been good for me because I've been able to concentrate more on what I'm doing work-wise and wedding stuff. So therefore, trying to like think, oh sugars, I was meant to move into in AQ or this because it's got to be kind of like snap, quick, or kind of thinking, oh, I've got to take this champion in. Oh, it's okay. I can't stop, won't stop. I've got Magneto. And it's like, oh, we got to move. We got to get done by this time. It's like, oh, well, at least I can have a breather and a break. So we've been doing some map 5 rotations.
Nice.
And once we facilitate, more people get. But the thing is, we haven't need to kind of like push for the glory or push for the other stuff because it's been like, well, we've got it there. I mean, I've got what 11, I think 11k glory, and I'm still like going, oh yeah, should I be spending on stuff?
I mean, every time I claim glory, I have to buy something first.
Yes.
At this point, so it's like, all right, that's not a bad position. It's like, all right, I guess I'll take some more tier 2 alpha. Sure.
Yeah, I know. I'm thinking to myself, oh god, I've got to purchase stuff. I honestly like it's great to kind of like it's first world throne breaker problems.
Absolutely. I mean, other stuff for the post. I think the biggest things are we have confirmed dates. Finally, we know Summoner Showdown is starting this Monday.
Yeah.
With week 1, and Alliance War Season 28 after. I don't even know. What's it been? 6 weeks?
Yeah.
Since we've had Alliance War, it's been quite a while. But Alliance War is back this coming Wednesday on the 18th for matchmaking. So they have decided that they are moving forward with the content that they've postponed, even if things aren't 100% fixed.
Yeah, I think now it's thinking about first boss Suicide Mastery's on. And seeing what the crack is, we're getting a decent time. Yeah. I do like Summoner Showdown because it's nice for the new show to kind of go like, okay, well, who's on the who's like top on the leaderboard? Who's going to be kind of like knocked off? Will there be any drama this time because people have been Mercs and then been known to Merc and kind of like being up to unscrupulous things, and therefore they've been kind of taken at the Summoner Showdown. Or maybe they're kind of like, oh, has there been drama that somebody's got a Facebook page where they've got a rude image, and as a result, Kabam have had to go, well, this is not in keeping with what Disney and Marvel want us to have. Oh, the drama of the Summoner Showdown that returns.
I'm going to predict yes to the drama, Rich.
Yes, to
I'm
the
not
drama.
gonna say what the drama is, but I'm gonna say it will exist. It
Believe that
always
to be
does.
true.
I mean, and speaking of drama and Mercs, I mean that
Oh,
just gets
yes.
into our next topic perfectly. You segued that like a boss, Rich. Legend runs
Yeah.
for Act content are no more because the Mercs have won. I mean, there's no way around it. I mean, I've seen some people kind of celebrating this, like, oh, like look at what they're doing to the Mercs, and it's like, yeah, like it got so bad they had to cancel the program. Like that's not a win for anybody. Like I get
No.
why they had to do it. It's very disappointing for the people that liked this sort of competitive nature of the Legends badge, but
Mm.
I guess as a company, it comes to the point where you say like, I mean, they've sort of like doubled and tripled down on like the checking and the time, and it
Yeah.
still doesn't feel like they don't believe they can totally clean this up to the point where they're satisfied with it, or it's come to the point where the resource load is so high to clean this up. It's like, well, we just can't afford to do this the way we want to do it, so we can't do it at all.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people forget that about companies, because that's the thing. Like, I'm not gonna like always all the time criticize Kabam and stuff, but because I managed the company for 10 years and then went to set up a company before becoming full-time YouTuber and debating whether or not I should be doing this as a full-time thing and not having any time, which I do love, by the way. But you have to admit defeat on things, and you have to reprioritize your time. I mean, as much. I don't know why I'm kind of like saying it. I should really bring you in because better than I do. If you've got a show coming up, you have to make sure everything runs right, and if there's problems with the process in which you're doing it or problems that arise, you have to adapt, don't you?
Absolutely, and not to totally derail it, but the my business with the concert business is rapidly changing now, where you're seeing more mask mandates, and now you've got the major concert promoters announcing the vaccine policies or negative test requirements, and you're seeing this like huge shift, and like what does that mean for fans and artists, and
Yeah.
we're kind of living minute to minute there, trying to figure out like what's the best way to do this going forward, and of course lots of feedback and lots of opinions from everyone involved, and I'll
Yeah.
kind of I'll kind of leave it at that, because it's been a little bit of a rough week for the news cycle for our business, and I'm certainly living that. But yeah, as a company, you have to decide at some point, like, can we do this up to the standards with which we hold ourselves to? And if the answer is no, then a lot of times you have to say like, all right, well, if we can't do it right, we can't do it at all. And that seems like what Kabam is saying. Like they're disappointed about it too. Like I don't think they're excited that it got to this point, but they have acknowledged that it has. And the whole Merc cycle and people being disappointed and the negativity that it brings to the game, they probably decide it's just not worth it at this point.
Yeah. What do you think about the fact we're keeping the monthly Legends running versus the Act stuff? Do you think that it's down to the I don't know. I had this theory, but maybe I'm wrong on this one. I haven't properly kind of communicated with Kabam, but I did get the idea that maybe people did have things like the Legends badges, maybe Mythic badges if they'd abused the system, and the Weapon X removed. But then I've seen times where there's been champions that have still remained on people's accounts after a limited time ban. What do you think the reason is to have one or the other kind of running and stuff?
Well, I think the biggest reason is nobody talks about monthly Legend runs anymore. And it's still Heroic and Master, right? They never made the switch.
Yeah.
And they never updated the rewards. So like at this, I'll bet that there's not that much activity around the monthly Legend runs anymore, just because it's really just the badge.
Yeah.
It's not T5CC selectors and Weapon X.
Yeah.
And it's not like it's not the bragging rights. Like, oh, I got a monthly legend badge. It's like, oh, 2017 called. It's proud of you. Like, it's just not.
All right, Dan. I actually got mine in 2017.
Well, then you did it at the right time.
I did actually. I did it.
It meant something. You did it when it meant something.
No,
it doesn't. It doesn't
right.
mean anything.
No,
in
you are right,
2021.
though. You are right, because I did get mine with a Suicide Masteries on, a couple of 30% boosts, and then the rest was just 15% with a Captain Marvel Classic.
Right, exactly.
A rank 4, 5-star.
A rank 4 Captain Marvel Classic. That's what I was back in the days. People were doing legend runs and first labyrinth clears with a rank 4 Captain Marvel Classic. those were the days. The kids today with their Aegons and their Strifes don't understand.
Yeah, you don't get it. You were damn lucky Zoomers.
Oh my god! But yeah, I don't know. They said they were going to update the monthly run this year to the highest 2 difficulties in the EQ, and we haven't seen that. So I wonder if that plays into it a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll bet that just isn't worth the time and the effort because it's not there's not that much going on there.
Yeah, that's true. That's fair. That's a fair point. I think that's. It's good in some ways that Kabam have now. And I think that's the thing. Kabam look to be trying to save time and be more streamlined in the way that they're dealing with aspects of the game, which I think is important because there's a lot of things that have gone by the wayside. Like we haven't seen anything new. Like I don't think we've seen any new kind of like extra content, like permanent content, like incursions. Not to say there's nothing wrong with incursions, but maybe players
a whole new game mode.
Like a whole new game mode. Like
like they've teased that though. Like the sort of the solo competitive idea.
Yeah. So that's the thing. You're just going like, I think it's just adding something else to kind of like not make the game stale, but then there's kind of looking at things like, okay, well, when something came up with I think it was just like the game engine problems of what this has been alluded to as per the post, like with the Parry Dex thing, is kind of going like, right, well, those areas need to be, Kabam need to get a handle on them, or at least go, right, well, if we move people from one area to another, or like what we do at the moment, I'm doing all the Legends runs things, like, okay, well, we actually need you to do X, Y, or Z to help out with the stuff we're doing. It's like, well, no, I've got to get this done because otherwise people will complain. It's now they've gone, right, well, we've saved some time there, we'll move that person there. The champion kind of like buff situation of going, which we're going to talk about in a minute. And actually, no, I will sidewind now into the fact that Kabam are doing 2 champions a month as opposed to 3. How many was it when they first started doing this?
Well, it was a 2-4-4 originally.
Wow. Like
it was supposed to be the 2. It was that 3-month cycle where 1 month you would get 2 full reworks, and then you were supposed to get in months 2 and 3 you would get 4 smaller buffs. So that was the original, and then they changed it to the 3-3-3, with one of them being a big one, and now they're going to 2 a month.
Yeah. God. It's a lot.
Really. I mean,
it
it helps that Miles is one of the 2.
Yes.
At least for next month. Miles and Gamora. It's interesting. I thought, didn't they already buff Gamora once?
2019 March.
Okay. All right. So she's getting another buff. I have a 6-star, so I'm looking forward to seeing that.
I'm as well.
And hopefully Miles is getting like the full rework, some new animations. His kit does not really match up with what has made him famous with the Spider-Verse movie and his invisibility and his electric what is he got some sort of like venom blast thing.
Yeah,
he's got some different powers. Like he's not a Peter Parker clone as far as the power set.
No, he's definitely meant to be that utility, the utility Spider-Man that's got more. Well, to be honest, I don't know if it's like, it's meant to be. I would hope it's got elements of kind of the Hood meets Spider-Man 2099, but with no. Actually, I think that's a good comparison enough for those two, because it's like it's got, say, the debuff nature of Spider-Man 2099 meets the kind of the miss invisibility of Hood smushed together in a nice little package. But
yeah, it would be cool. It's gonna be fun to see what they do with him. But I think there's a lot of buildup around this one because people have been asking for years for this buff. So I really hope this is a good one for their sake.
Into the Spider-Verse, I think, was like we talked about the pedestal that this character was put on, and what people then started getting a bit hyped around it. Miles Morales. I mean, look, people were comic book fans. I mean, yeah, that's fine. But then that's that when he starts getting more air time, like screen time as well. The Miles Morales game on PS5 and PS4 respectively, and then it's like people are really looking at this character more, and I hope that like he makes some MCU appearance down the line, because that would be great. But I think this is great that Kabam are looking into time saving. Yeah, it sucks. Like people will probably go, look, well, I want my favorite champion buffed, and I did a video. I think I did a calculation as to when we would likely see all champions being buffed. But then, since then, the more thoughts about this is like, well, current meta shifts, and like what is the current meta that Kabam then go, right, well, we've looked at Gamora and she needs to be put up there to be buffed. So you could say for all the, let's just say, further 100 champions that need to be looked into to bring them up to the current standards, then is there going to be an additional 20 plus that just aren't there that need that extra delivery? And it could even put us like a situation of like all champions could look to be buffed, that it will take about a further 3 years, so we could be in 2024 by the time all champions are being buffed. So is this, and
what's the meta at that point?
Exactly. It's Kabam, I think, are fighting a losing battle with this, because you might be saying, oh great, I'm just trying to think of like a good example. We have something that's Namor, for example. Looking at Namor was released June this would be good if I get this right. I'm going to say June 2019.
That feels right.
Yeah, June
July. Yeah,
June July 2019, and it's like we're going to say in like 2 or 3 years time, he's not current meta anymore, so we need to kind of go back and buff him. It's going to be really weird, because then as we add new things in, new starages, as we enter into relics, what is relics going to do to buff champions? Will that be that thing of going, okay, if you've got I don't know, an Iron Fist relic is essentially going to be the buff like collectible item that is going to make him the best champion in the game, and changes like damage output to be near ridiculous. We just don't know, so we're still in the kind of like question mark. But I think this is a good opportunity for Kabam to go, right, well, this is the best time as well to create the wish crystal, because if players go, well, I'm getting all these rubbish champions and I can't use them anywhere, these 6 stars, then the opportunity to create the wish crystal is this here. If you can't do as many buffs per month, maybe create the wish crystal to be that bridging gap to then appease players to go, oh, my roster isn't terrible because I can get 1 of 10 of these god tiers.
Yeah, and I think that's another way. I feel like every few weeks we see a wish crystal thread.
Yeah, that's true.
On the forums, people they do want their crystals.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I hear you about that. Yeah. It's the tricky thing is there's so many champs that need a buff, and everyone has their 1 or 2 champs that they really care about.
Yeah,
and
true.
If you get yours, you're happy, and it's good. You're happy, right? Mm-hmm. But there's always someone who didn't get the one that they really wanted. So
I'm on a great run of 6-star luck, so I'm gonna hope that when I open up, I think I plan to open up 15 6 stars later next month, or maybe early October. It's gonna be, hopefully, like, my luck is continuing. Like, I really hope my luck is continuing. And the same thing I wish for everybody else, including you, Dan. When's your next opening, by the way?
I could use some luck. I don't know if I'm not really doing a big opening right now. I've just been kind of popping stuff as I get it. But I mean, the next thing that I'm going to be opening of consequence is the Nexus from Summer of Pain.
Ooh,
which we're getting those rewards early, right? We thought we were going to have to wait 2.5 more weeks. We're going to get them next Wednesday, Just got to get through week 9 and this Ghost, which I haven't beaten yet. I've been messing around a little bit with Doom and Black Widow Deadly Origin. This is a fun fight. I like this one. It's been interesting. I think the first 7 weeks were very much about roster depth and having the right counter. Like that was probably like 80% of the fight. Like have the right champ and then learn the rotation. And you're fine, right? Where, yes, we've got the objectives, so you want to bring certain champs to, qualify for the objectives. But as far as Ghost and Emma go, it's much more about play style. It's about adjusting. With Emma, it's like, all right, well, how good are you at reverse controls SP1 dodging?
I hated that fight.
You could do that. If you can do that forever, you could do that fight with anybody.
Yeah.
The same thing with this Ghost fight. It's like, can I turn off my will to intercept her after she dashes back? It's hard.
Yeah.
I see that opening and it's just reflex and then I'm dead.
Yeah.
But that's player error. Like, okay, like Dr. Doom, like, yeah, I want to get the villain mystic metal one all in one go, right?
Yeah.
But it's like Doom doesn't do anything really special in that fight.
No.
He just checks most of the objective boxes.
Yeah.
You could do that Ghost fight with anybody.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because we've seen a lot of back and forth about this, especially starting last week with the Emma Frost about like Emma Frost fight, where that was a roadblock for certain people in the community.
Yeah. And that's the thing of like the not sour taste in their mouth. I mean, I got through it. I think my first time I went, because did I do it 3 times or 2 times? No, I did it 2 times. Because I just couldn't stomach it doing a 3 time. I can't stand inverted controls. It's the one thing that I think is one of the worst things that Kabam put in, and it's just a case of going like, what's the only other thing that I can do mixed master? It's just stuff that kind of you have to break up the way that you're playing, where it's just kind of like, it just upsets me really to kind of go like, look, I just want to get in, I just want to do the fight, I just want to do it like how I want to do it, right, and that's it. Instead, I have to like go, right, well, every time I felt like I was swiping on the inverted, it just wasn't landing to a point where I just went, do you know what? If this is not going to play out in a fair manner to the point where I believe I've swiped correctly, or I'm seeing inconsistencies with when I've swiped on the inverted controls, then I just cannot be bothered with this. And I'm just like, I'm just going to get it done and then hope that next week's better. And this week I felt happy and content, as opposed to other weeks where I've just gone, one mistake, boom, gone. I mean, not to say that this week isn't the same, one mistake and gone, but it's just like the feeling of it's not joy and happiness, but kind of the feeling of going like, okay, I'm content with this week as opposed to last week. And it's a deal breaker for some. It's just one of these things that I've said that the spend of units on Summer of Pain, if you've spent anything between, I mean, if you spent on Stash, hey, great, you've got this for free. But if you spent as either a Cavalier player or as a Thronebreaker player, anything in the region of 1,000 to even 4,000 units, you have already got better than you would have got from July 4th deals.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. If they, you have to look at it like that. Like, if they offered you the Summer of Pain rewards as a unit package, how much would you be willing to invest?
Exactly. That's a better point than what I've done.
It's all good, Rich. You were there. I was just connecting the dots for you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, you have to look at it like that. It's I'm excited for those rewards. 2 full T5CC selectors. Like, yeah. That's amazing. Like, that's so far above anything I've ever seen.
Yeah, exactly.
In the game, like, because I'm looking at that eventual like rank 4 Falcon, rank 4 Apocalypse. So I'm gonna split, just so I don't go into the overflow, down the line with those, and this Nexus where I can pick the class, and I'm either gonna go Tech or Science, because those are my 2 weakest classes. For 6-star right now, I think I'm leaning Tech. I might go Science. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
I've seen there's a lot of people going mutant, which I totally understand.
Yeah,
It's exciting. It's an exciting choice to be thinking about.
damn right. I'm thinking now. I've got a rank 5. I've got a rank 3. Some 6 stars. I've got 4 yet to do, and so when I get this, I'm gonna choose mutant as well. It's just that we talked about this. I've only ever got 1 mutant fully formed, whereas I formed everything else like twice, 3 times, and
Wow.
I'm like, oh God's sake. So I'm like, right, I'm going mutant, and then I've got a chance between going tech or science because, I'm halfway there with 2 of them. I've got to spend 2 tier 5 skill catalysts, 1 mystic and 1 cosmic, and I'm there going, oh, this isn't. I've got champions to choose, and I will choose them. It's just one of these situations of going, if I've got 15 6-stars to open by October, I'll quite happily wait 2 months and just like finish off my 5-star roster, which I'm pretty much done with 5 stars at the moment. I think I've got like a few champions I want to work on depth rather than anything, and get them up to rank 5. Making sure as well I'm not overlapping, because one of my biggest kind of like bugbears with MCOC is a lot of champions seem to follow the same kind of pattern with abilities. So a lot of the time, if I go, okay, well, I'm going to rank up Crossbones, OG Black Panther, and Jabari Panther, they pretty much have similar, if not same things. Unless I need a variation that goes, okay, we need a champion that does bleed damage. Then okay, well, I've got Jabari Panther and Black Panther. Oh, but you need one that does crits. Okay, well maybe that's OG. So I've now got like 3 variations of something that does exactly the same thing. But I've got one that interacts with #heroes. I'm like, well, I've fallen down a rabbit hole here. I'll rank up everybody.
Roster depth, Rich.
Yeah.
Roster depth.
You
never know.
Yeah, that's true.
You never know.
I say it's first world Marvel Contest of Champions throne breaker
Yeah,
problems.
well, things like you run into some of these objectives, and it's that break glass in case of emergency mindset, or sometimes, especially for map 7, like I've ranked some champs for just to make my map 7 life easier. Like I did Man Thing for a while, and then Immortal Hulk Immortal Abomination because I was on Acid Wash, and I finally relented. As disgusting as Immortal Abomination is, he's actually really good.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
I use him a lot now.
I really want that champion, and I hope to pick him up.
He's great. He's the real deal. He just vaporizes people once he gets going. And of course, what he became for that Mysterio, he was the guy.
Yeah.
Earlier this month. So, overall, Summer of Pain probably the best thing they've done in a while.
Yeah.
I think overall the people like the fights, they like the cadence, they love the rewards, and we've got to see what this final challenge brings us in terms of because of the leaks, we know what the challenge is. We do not know what the rewards are.
I've seen some rumors, which we're not gonna go into any detail because the thing is, it's just down to rumors. We'll see what happens with that.
Yeah, it's better to see what it is for real.
Absolutely. How are you getting on this month with objectives and grinding?
I have pretty much punted on this month as far as like the monthly stuff. I'm not really trying to get those objectives. I'm mostly focused on finishing up Variant 6. I've got 3 paths left. I am doing the arena this month though. Good. I do like that 3-star arena. Really good rewards for time spent in arena. So sort of what I'm interested in doing something where I don't need my brain power. Yeah, I'm playing that arena, and I do like it.
Fantastic. I'm really enjoying it. But this is one of the times where this type of stuff is kind of like my bag, my interest.
Sure.
So I'm kind of getting. I've just got to do Uncollected and some more of Cavalier, and I've done all of my objectives, and I've just got to go and do Spidey repeats, which I think is the thing that I'm most looking forward to I'm most looking forward to is just doing a Spidey repeats, and then I should have cracked that out. Hopefully, be able to get that done by next weekend. But it's all good. I'm enjoying myself. Right, let's move on and talk about something that we're going to be talking about on a per show basis, and that is the What If series. Because did you have time to watch it, Dan?
I did have time to watch it. I did. Thankfully, only a half-hour episode.
Yes.
Last night made my life easier. When I saw, I think it's like 32, 33 minutes. When I checked on it, like 8 o'clock last night, it's like, okay, I can handle this before bedtime. So that was, I like a little bite-sized animated episode. I'm all for it.
I don't really know what to make of it. I mean, this is the first episode, and it's kind of like figuring out what it linking, because the What If series is meant to be these kind of like these little one shots, and how they link is meant to be, well, they're not meant to link, but there's given this idea that these will link in some ways, which is interesting enough. Where do we begin with this?
Yeah, I mean, What If was a comic series originally, as most of these were, that started in the late 70s. I remember reading some of these as a kid, and basically it was kind of the first dip into the multiverse for Marvel, from my understanding. Even though they weren't even like really calling it that, it was just more like, what if one thing changed? What if Captain America became president of the United States after World War II? What if Spider-Man joined the Fantastic Four? I think there's one. I don't know if it was a what if or not, but it was the same idea. It's like, well, what if the superheroes didn't make it home from the Secret War and they stayed on Battleworld for like 20 years, and they all had kids, and who had kids with who? And then when the kids got back to Earth, what was Earth like without its greatest heroes for 20 years? So it was very much that bite-sized, like condensed, like one-off thing that they generally didn't revisit. Which is curious, because what are they going to do with this? Are these all one-offs? For instance, are we going to see Captain Carter again? Are the next episodes of What If set in the same universe? Are we going to see these characters show up in later movies from the multiverse? I mean, we've kind of seen this with Star Wars, right? Where we've got characters like Ahsoka Tano who started in animation and are now, in live action. Is some of that going to happen? Like, there's a lot of possibility with this. I would say What If, like, at its core, is just meant to be like a fun sort of, exploration of an idea if something went the other way, because I know people are already getting very serious on the internet about this. So I would just say, like, did you like the story, Rich? Was it cool to see Captain Carter and these scenes from the first Avenger reframed with her as the lead?
Yeah, it was. There's just a bit kind of like, talking about that, I've actually made a joke of it in the new show on Friday, which is like, I got the Captain America shield, and I just said, I said something like, I'm sorry, if I'm Captain America, I've got the shield here. What if I had a British emblem in that? Wouldn't that make me Captain Britain? The follow-up joke to that is like, you should tell the Captain America Twitter page, because it's kind of weird to kind of like, well, technically that's not Captain America, that's Captain Britain, so therefore they should have that as that. And it's like, well, yeah, that technically makes her the first Avenger. Of course it would do, but you can't. It's like you can't really post on the Captain America Twitter page, this is about Captain America, it's Captain Britain, it's Captain Carter. It's like, don't do this. But episode great. Bucky doesn't fall, so therefore he keeps his arm and he doesn't become the Winter Soldier. Well, no, we know we're going to be talking about spoilers and stuff.
Yeah, we're talking about the episode.
And again, it's like, technically there's a lot of little what ifs in that. What if the Red Skull actually got killed, as opposed to using the Tesseract and then going into Voromir and his soul being whatevered. Also, like, what if?
It's Howard Stark getting his hands on the Tesseract.
Yes.
And building the first Iron Man suit in 1942. 3
Yeah, as
or
opposed
whatever.
to
Like that's a big deal.
yeah. There's lots of little kind of like micro what ifs in the greater scheme of the bigger picture of the what ifs. There's as well like there must be more to this because at the end, Peggy has to take like it's like this massive kind of kraken like creature.
Yeah.
She's pushing it back and actually goes through into what is that that moment in is it the Avengers movie when Loki appears?
Yes.
Yeah. So when Loki in Avengers, Loki appears at the kind of like I don't know where it is, like Shield Institute in the basement where they've got what seems to be like a tesseract at their end or some kind of like portal of some kind. Any case, Peggy Carter goes through it, and then it's like meeting. Oh, hello, Nick Fury. Hello, Clint Barton. So then that means that could lead to something. And I'm pretty certain I've seen a trailer where she is with a group of Avengers. So whether or not what if links or it doesn't, I mean, is like yet to be.
That would be cool. I mean, I don't know why you put that scene in there.
Yeah.
If it's not going to link, because that's a huge tease. If you're not going to follow up on that, because I mean, really, I mean, she's awesome. It's beautifully animated. Some great action scenes. But when she pairs the sword with the shield, it kind of goes next level, and that's where, for me, like she really became like her own thing.
Yeah.
Because we've never seen. We've never seen Captain America, Steve Rogers, or even Sam. Like they've never had a sword like that. They've never done the sword and the shield thing.
Exactly.
So like that was just so perfect because it totally gave her own thing at that point, and it's just a great visual. So like I want to see that. Let's see some more. Like who are these what if Avengers? Like what has changed? And we know there's some other stuff like. I know one of the issues coming up is T'Challa is Star-Lord in this universe, or I don't want to say this universe, but there's a what if where Yondu takes T'Challa, right? Is that what happens?
Yes, that is going to be. I'm trying to find the running order of like episodes because I saw something being released. That kind of explains what the proper list is. I've seen a few fake ones, but there's one in particular that kind of like says that we're going to have one that has Party Thor, which is definitely in the trailers because you see him in a car driving around. So you'll see Party Thor. There's the one that you just said there. God damn it! I can't find the list whilst we're kind of like recording, but If I do, I do. But if not, it kind of like it has loads of kind of like, great like interaction stuff. Zombies, of course, is one of them.
Yeah, the zombie thing. Now, obviously, there's this huge Marvel zombie storyline. They've done multiple runs of comics of the Marvel zombies. That's a lot of fun too. So it'd be cool to see some of that. Yeah,
I really can. I'm looking forward to that episode. The Party Thor one's going to be good because it's got a lot of them. I don't have the original voice. Chris Evans is not voicing his Steve Rogers. I know that Tony Stark is not being voiced by Robert Downey Jr. Those two definites that are not happening.
Yep.
Because it's a Killmonger and Tony Stark pair up, which is going to be an interesting one.
Oh, that's right.
How that happens.
But it is Michael B. Jordan as King Killmonger in that.
It is.
So they've got a lot of, they've got a lot of the big people. Natalie Portman's Jane Foster. Yeah. They've got Paul Rudd as Ant-Man. Ruffalo's back as Hulk. I mean, the episode we saw, this week, most of those are the same people. Dominic Cooper as Howard Stark, Sebastian Stan. Haley Atwell as Peggy Carter right up top, Toby Jones as Zola. Like most of those were the people from the movies.
Yeah, I know.
So that's pretty cool.
There's been a big thing about Dave Bautista because he was asked by a fan, you were in as Drax for the Star-Lord T'Challa one, and he said no, I wasn't asked. So there was a response from, I think some of the producers said would have loved Drax to be voiced, but I think the timeline may have been when they first started recording, may have been when there was the fallout of Dave Bautista saying, "Well, I'm not going to be in Guardians of the I'm done with Disney then." So maybe that was their knee-jerk responses to go like, "Okay, well, if you're going to be like that, then we're not going to ask." But then maybe the same thing could have been like down to either scheduling, because that's the other thing, scheduling. Maybe there was a miscommunication, but it would have been nice to have,
I mean, they got a lot of the heavy hitters. I think my favorite credit that they've got is they've still got Seth Green as Howard the Duck.
Oh wow, that's cool.
like first of all, like Howard the Duck, yes, for What If, he's like the perfect What If character. But it's like how many lines in those two Guardian movies does Seth Green have as Howard the Duck? And they still went through the trouble to get him to do this.
Yeah. It is like, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's one of the things, I'm not going to be overexcited for it, but as I am with the other ones, but the kind of the live action stuff. But it's definitely something I'll put on every Wednesday and kind of see where they're going with it. So I'm interested enough. I'm not going to ignore it. I would just say it's What If. It's supposed to be a fun little thing. Yeah, for sure.
Like this is supposed to be like, if the movies, if I may make an MCOC parallel, if the movies are like the act content, like this is Arena. This is just fun. There's not big consequences. We're just grinding out a few milestones. We're seeing what happens, and we'll enjoy it. So, I'm looking forward to it, and it's certainly better than having no Marvel at all on a weekly basis in our life. So, I will stay positive as usual. So What If? Looking forward to. I don't know what next week is. I haven't seen a tease on that, but looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Very quickly as we cover what's going on in other Marvel games, MROC, not too much going on, but I did send you a couple screenshots. What I thought was interesting, I know you haven't been playing much or at all lately, but that game very well heavy to start with expensive gear sets. Certainly, still, if you want to drop $100, they will take it from you gladly. But much like we saw in MCOC over the last few years, we're starting to see some of the $5, $10 deals. We're starting to see some more unit deals where you can grind out some units and get some gear that can actually help you. So I think that's interesting. Just as we talk about the game monetization and where this game and all the games are at. I know Cam posted some stuff about second quarter earnings from Kabam and Netmarble. I haven't got to dive into that yet.
I haven't either.
That stuff's always super interesting when you want to talk about the health of the game. I know you've been harping on this a lot lately, but people got to spend money or we don't get these games.
Yeah, that's the reality of it. You can be free to play, and it's like, that's the thing. Games need both spenders and non-spenders. They need the volume of players that are spending in order to get the numbers there and get the community going, but also you need people to spend money as well. You were talking about that, got me interested about like stuff with Cam and posting up things, MCC. Oh dear, that's still not brilliant.
No, it's not.
No,
I don't know. I always looked for the context in that.
The thing is, for me, sorry, I was going to do just a quick thing.
Oh no, you do think.
Well, no. I saw people. I'm not going to name names who had this idea that is like July would be a big bump, but and as I said to a lot of like my community and as well like people that interacted, like people went, it's going to be a great quarter for Kabam, and I was like, not many people spent on July 4th deals, and the people that obviously spent a lot went, oh yeah, it's July 4th deals, they're really good. And it's like, well,
July 4th isn't in these numbers.
Oh, isn't in these numbers. All right, okay.
No, this is
the
quarter ending June 30th. Yeah, this has spring cleaning in it, but not 4th of July.
Oh, yeah. That was the first time we saw rank for materials.
Yeah, so I mean, we gotta wait another 3 months before we really know what happened with July 4th. I mean, if it's not an uptrend once you get July 4th factored in, then maybe you hit the panic button. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like
I mean, the game's still making a lot of money, but the game is not growing revenue. But it's not really. Let's see, 2, 1, 3, 2, 4, 3, 2. Yeah, all right. So it is a drop off from Q2.
Yeah.
Of the previous year. So, that's generally not a good sign.
No, spring. That's the thing. I was hoping spring clean was like.
Because spring cleaning was good. Like,
it was good.
I spent $50 on spring cleaning, and I don't do that very often at all. So.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll have to see with that. And I think I'm glad to hear about Marvel Realm. I still got to figure out finding some time to play it, because it's now come to the point where as soon as I'm done with my MCOC stuff for the next couple of weeks, and I'm going to be focusing on Marvel Future Revolution prep and prepping the second channel. So I'm just finding the time ready for that. So something like that. Marvel Future Revolution. It's continuing on as normal. A lot of like changes here and little changes here and there before they go global with it. It's just one of these things where you'll want to play different characters, and as soon as you finish playing certain characters, you'll be interested in what's the newest one. So that's the thing. Then I think Marvel Future Revolution need to be starting to put in new characters around October. So like September, October. Give it a month, get people playing with it, and then start going, okay, here's a new game mode, or here's a new place to explore, and here's a new character to play, and maybe somewhere other direction to go with it, because there's a lot, because you have to go to different areas to improve things like your specialization, which is not really like a mastery point system, because there's like a mastery point system, but there's another one, and then you got to collect these things and that thing and some other stuff. So you got lots of content to do, lots of things to focus on, but then there's some stuff that needs addressing, like matchmaking. That's a big thing. Because I'll give an example with that game just quickly before we end. Is like you do something called Dimensional Duel, which is a PvP 1v1. Now, if you take a old character, you still go in at whatever level your main is. So you could be like Gold 3, similar like Alliance Wars, but it's like a 1v1. You've only got 5 stars at rank 3, and you're going up against a 6-star enemy at rank 3 or 4. And it's like, well, you do know that you won't be able to out damage that particular 6-star. Your 5-star rank 3 won't out damage a 6-star rank 3 in kind of. It's like, and also it's like saying, okay, well, taking a highly signatured and also Suicide Mastery synergy with a 6-star rank 3 versus a 5-star rank 3 that's just a standard masteries or weak masteries. There's going to be one person that is going to be overpowered, and that matchmaking is there currently. So you have to go like, okay, well, I need to do it going with my main. But again, your main may not be as powerful. So there's still stuff that needs to be worked into with that when it comes to the idea of fairness. But Dan, what are you up to next week?
Next week, that is a good question. I have I got to do Summer Pain. Nice. I've got to week 9. I got to do that. I want to finish up Variant 6 this weekend, and I think next week is really going to be defined by the final challenge of Summer of Pain for me, and just figure like, okay, is this something I can do in the 2 weeks that we have to do it? What are the rewards? I have to make a yes/no on that, because based on what we've seen, it's going to require multiple runs, and I'm going to have to set aside some time for that.
Yeah. Okay, good. I don't really know. I've kind of figured out what I'm doing this week. I need to write today what I'm planning to do video wise next week. Maybe I'm going to focus on something else. Who knows? But that's been a podcast. Thanks very much for listening, watching, and that kind of stuff. And we'll see you next time for episode 71. Bye bye for now.